In our organizations, we often talk about work-life balance, or sometimes people talk about life-work balance. And the reason for that is that we want to be an employer of choice. We want people to come and work in our companies, and that is, of course, a topical thing that we have to raise and we have to talk about and try and implement actions on work-life balance. But I think that for you as a senior executive, what does that really mean? Is there such a thing as work-life balance at this level, or is it just work? And I think when I have this conversation, I have a personal viewpoint on this, which might perhaps be some thoughts for you to think about. The way I see it is that we are a 24/7 person. We're not a different person when we're at work than when we go home. We still sit with the same challenges, the same problems, the same issues we have to deal with. It doesn't matter whether we're at work or at home. And the thing to think about that you can work and then you go home and then you can switch off from work and then you can only think about home and family life. To me personally, that's a fallacy. It doesn't exist. For instance, in my circumstances, when I go home or I'm spending time with my family at home and there's some real drama going on at work or drama going on which I need to solve, for me it's far more stressful to ignore that than it is to spend a little bit of time, take some time out of my family situation just to deal with this issue. Because the way I see it is that if I'm no good in terms of how I feel and how I behave at the moment, I'm not good for my family either. So the best way for me to deal with these things is just to solve some of these things. Don't think that you can simply switch off. So I think that the next time we think about work-life balance, think about it this way. Sometimes work is more important than your home. And sometimes your home is more important than your work for a particular reason. And that you balance it this way rather. Because when we do it this way, we think about the whole thing holistically. We live a life. Sometimes we're at work and sometimes we're at home. Sometimes the priorities overtake other ones. But we don't try and chunk off things to say, now I'm only working and I don't care about my home life. And now I'm only caring about home life and don't worry about work. For me personally, that's far more stressful.